Alright, I have this example here of this animation software I've been making, which is kind of like Flash, but works with HTML DOM elements and JavaScript. So this is just kind of a short little animation, and we can actually edit it here. So here would be the different frames of the animation. And as you can, well, let's just make something up here that we'll add. We'll add another balloon. There is image base64, which you can use if you don't want to link to the image. It'll hold it as a base64 URL, which can be useful, but we're not going to be using it. Just do another one, and we're going to place it -100 and -100, and we'll make the width starting at 100's fine. And we'll create it. We'll select it as an example. Should be here somewhere. Let's change it to 100. There we go. So we're going to have it kind of come up maybe like this, go away. I did do something slightly different than in Animate. Here you have to select the actual object that you want to move. I did this so you don't have that problem where you trying to click two that are right next to each other. So as long as this is selected, you can click anywhere on screen and move it, so you can go off screen, wherever you want to do. So we're going to have this come up here. I don't know where it's at, so I need to find it. There we go. So we'll have it kind of come up. You can also, when hovering over the frames down here, you can use the scroll wheel, so you don't have to click every single one. And here we will shrink the size a little bit. We'll go to 95. Same with height, so it's kind of equal. Then go like this. See where I was to. Let's kind of make it wave a little bit, like it's kind of getting pushed by the cloud for some reason. And need the size down to 95. So it matches the other one. Have it starting to go back this way, I think. Yep, and then we'll have it shrink a little bit more, down to 90, down to 90, and then let's do 5. raise that back to 90. Actually, we could go even smaller here. We'll do 85. There we go. And we'll just end up having it go off screen. Go to 80 for height and width. Then we'll do frame number 7. Smaller again, let's do 75, 75, and kind of just have it, actually we'll just have it go all the way off screen. Make sure it's off screen for the rest of them. Yep. Then we can just export this. This actually will automatically go to downloads because of some security stuff with JavaScript and browsers, but we can just drag it in there, replace our old one. Now if we refresh this, we see our new balloon kind of fading away. Here's our other one. That's that. But we do have we can actually make divs as well. Actually, let me rename this balloon to, and then we can, let's see, what's a good color? We could make this transparent, but I do not have a way to enable that with Color Picker. I could use a third-party library or make my own. I haven't yet, but we can manually edit it to be transparent background, which we might just do actually. You could edit it in the file, or we can let's do client objects / object 5, and we'd have to go through all of these and edit the background color here to transparent. Which I'll do that really quick. And this just uses hex codes, as you can see here. You could manually change it to another format, RGB, RGBA, Hexa if you really wanted. But the editor that I'm using right now, the Color Picker, will not let you do that. I suppose in the future I could make a label, quote unquote label. It could just be a pre-made div without a background color. That would make it a lot easier for people who are, at least right away, until I have a new Color Picker made. There. Probably don't have to technically do them all if we have it move off screen, but, and I don't, another thing I want to add to this is a way to, if you do a change, a way to make it go to the rest of them. I want to add like a little check box button like on this side of the width or height where you can check it and it will apply to the rest of them in the thing. So if it's frame 6 that you're working on, if you check the box and make a change, it will apply to 6, 7, 8, 9, all those. That'd be pretty useful instead of having to manually change all these. And then you don't want it to automatically do that, because then it can mess up something else they have. If they wanted to make something kind of like shrink in and out, or bounce up and down or something at that one spot. So here we go. And let's add make it say something. Hello world. There we go, right there. Hello world. You could actually put HTML in here, JavaScript, CSS. Of course, you'd have to use the style. You have to use the right HTML tags for it, but we could go like that. You can say span ID, a class, test text. Add span here. We can add the class, test text, font size 20. What else? Well, we'll just leave it at that for now. We can leave it right here in front of everything. And what's weird is it's only applies when you edit the source. It will only apply at that frame, but if you want it to apply on every frame, you can put it in frame 0, and the reader will, or the animation engine I made for this will check if there's nothing there. It will check frame 0 automatically to apply it. So we can actually do that here. Take this, delete it, close, go back to frame 1, add it here, close, there it is, go like that. You can this is where the applying it to every place would be very useful. And right now you can't even delete these, but I'll have to add that later on. But we could export that, go back to our downloads, drag it back into our file here. See, now we have Hello World up here. You can apply JavaScript, you can add on-clicks on the things, everything. Very similar to Flash, Animate, or whatever, how you can use ActionScript. The main difference is you could add whatever you want in JavaScript, I guess. So that's kind of neat. And an example of how easy it is to enable this, let us open this up. So it's just a div, named div, and then we're loading in the Dash engine, I guess, and then we are loading in our values, the thing that we exported from the builder deal, and we can call load the variables into this div here, and we will play it. And play will automatically do, it'll start at the first frame and go to the end. You could change this and add a frame number, and that will be the number of frames that it will play. So if you wanted only 10 frames, you could do 10 frames. Or you can stop it or make it go to a frame, like 10, and it will stop there, and it'll look like a still frame. very similar to this. You'll just stop it here, and then you could wait for an on click or then to fill out a form, and then you can just do play to the end of the frames. Downside is you have to know how many frames there are, but you could use you could do dash play screen or dash data scene frame. F is just for frames. I shorten the ball to make the file smaller, so it'd be scene F right here, 20 frames. But so you could do that, and you could just do dash play, and that will play it to the end no matter where you're at, because it's getting that end frame value. You know, there's 20 frames, so it'll just return 20. I should probably make a function play till end, and it'll just continue to the end. But there's a lot of usability in this, you know, very similar to Flash, how you could do go to and play. I just don't have all the fancy functions yet. Here's another one. You can actually add a callback function. So when it's done playing, you could just have it do itself again. So you could do something like dash function, and this will just send. You could do dash dot play, and it will just keep looping over and over again. After it's done, it will reloop it. It'll redo itself over and over. And if you really wanted to get fancy, you could, you know, add a timer, or you could add a loop count to it. Additionally, originally I built a loop counter into it, but I had a lot of problems where I didn't want it to interact. I didn't want two to overlap with each other. So if you accidentally do play in a spot that you weren't supposed to, it won't. It'd mess with the loop. If you had it like if you used go to and you went to a frame and you were waiting for a user to click something, and the loop was going, if it was paused, the loop would end, and then it would try to play itself again. And I had some ways to like stop it from doing that, and there's just a lot of collisions that could happen. So I just set it up this way without a loop built in. Maybe later on I can think about it and see how to add it, but generally that's that. And that is Flash remade for the web now.